This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. 19-year-old wanted for shooting death of Jamaican teen in Canada. Police investigators have identified the triggerman behind the last week's shooting death of 14-year-old Jamaican-born Tafash Riley in Mississauga, Ontario. He has been identified as a 19-year-old Michael Montcherry Desir. A Canadian-wide warrant has been issued for him, the Peel Regional Police stated in a release on Friday, a copy of which was obtained by the news. Montcherry Desir is wanted on a charge of manslaughter in relation to her death, circumstances of which are still unknown to date. Michael Montcherry Desir should be considered armed and dangerous. If observed, do not approach and call police immediately, the Peel Regional Police said in a release obtained by the news. It added, Michael Montcherry Desir is strongly encouraged to seek legal counsel and turn himself into the police. Police also warned that anyone found assisting or harboring the suspect. Tafash's brother issued a statement to Canada's CTV News on Friday, disclosing that the family did not know the suspect. Canadian media have reported that the Peel Regional Police were called to an apartment building located at 7170 Darcel Avenue in Malton around 9 p.m. on February 1. Cops were called in after a resident found Tafash suffering from a gunshot wound in the stairwell on the third floor. It is said that medical personnel pronounced her dead at the scene. Tafash was a grade 9 student at Dufferin Peel Catholic District School. The 14-year-old, who was originally from the St. Andrew community of Wilton Gardens, popularly known as Rima, migrated to Canada with her family in 2012. A fundraising initiative had been set up to assist the family members to return her body to Jamaica for burial. Investigators continue to ask anyone with information on the murder that may have surveillance footage or dashcam video that may have captured the moments leading up to, during, or after the incident to contact them at 905-453-2121 extension 3205. Anonymous information may also be submitted by calling Peel Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477 by visiting peelcrimestoppers.ca. Lost or stolen firearms could cost you millions and prison time. Licensed gun owners who fail to report lost or stolen weapons to the police without reasonable excuse could, under the new firearms regime being proposed by lawmakers, face fines up to 10 times larger than the current penalties. Under the Firearms Act, which is to be repealed by the 2022 Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act, if a licensed firearm holder loses their weapon and fails to report it within 48 hours, there is a $100,000 fine or imprisonment of up to 1 year. However, the 2022 bill increases the penalty to a maximum of $1 million and the reporting period to reduce to 24 hours. The new bill, now before Parliament, will repeal the 1967 Firearms Act, which was last amended in 2010. The police told the news on Friday that 58 guns had been reported lost or stolen last year and 57 in 2020. The majority were pistols, revolvers, and to a much lesser extent shotguns. The 2021 figure is 7 more than was reported in 2019, which the Firearms Licensing Authority said at the time had led to the revocation of 49 licenses. Furthermore, a person who comes into possession of any firearm or ammunition which is lost or which they suspect or believe to be stolen is obliged to report the matter to the police within 24 hours as well. Someone who knows the whereabouts of a stolen weapon or ammunition is also under the same reporting obligation, the law says. Additionally, an individual who comes into the possession of a firearm or ammunition could face even harsher fines of up to $3 million or as much as 3 years in prison. At the same time, there is a penalty of up to $3 million or a maximum of 3 years behind the bars for those who fail to give up the location of lost or stolen firearms or ammunition. The penalties are all subject to conviction in a parish court. In 2020, Chief Executive Officer of the FLA, Shane Darling, told the news that the regulator was very concerned about the high number of firearms that were being reported lost or stolen. Our approach is to start revoking license from individuals who we believe are careless. We consider every firearm lost or stolen to contribute to the crime problem. In international circles, a lost or stolen firearm is considered to be a means of diversion. When a legal firearm is lost, it goes into illicit hands. We consider it very serious that we are putting weapons in the hands of criminals, he said. We don't take lightly replacing firearms that are lost or stolen unless it's a genuine case. We don't take cases where individuals say they left a firearm in a car, for example, lightly, Darling said. Piloting the 2022 firearms bill in Parliament on Thursday, National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang said although automatic weapons and assault rifles are the types of illegal weapons mainly prohibited, the weapon of choice being used in murders and shootings is the handgun. Hostility greets move to seize condemned goods after flood. Health authorities said they faced a strong resistance when they tried to seize condemned goods from some businesses that were hit by the massive flood in Port Maria on February 1. We faced a lot of opposition and a lot of pushback from persons because they did not want us to take the things that necessitated being dumped. They wanted to have the option to wash these things off and to sell them again in Port Maria. Medical Officer of Health for St. Mary, Dr. Tamara Henry, told this month's sitting of the St. Mary Municipal Corporation on Thursday when it was disclosed that several goods ended up being dumped. She added that due to the challenges, it was decided that health personnel really need to have an incident command system in place to carry out such operations. Acting Chief Public Health Inspector for St. Mary, Jacinth Lewis Bygrave, said the decision to dump damaged goods was a great loss to some of the businesses. A large amount of food items were condemned, Lewis Bygrave said. Chairman of the municipality, Mayor Richard Creary, questioned if the health personnel were less than considerate in seizing some of the items. He stated that the authorities, for example, could have asked business owners to throw away liquor and keep their bottles and crates. The health personnel took a number of crates and bottles that the people could have resold and they throw them in the van, and I am pretty sure those never end up in the dump, Creary added. But Dr. Henry retorted, "Don't say you are pretty sure. I bet you never followed the vans, but the vans went directly to the dump." Dr. Henry and Lewis Bygrave admitted that while seizing some items may not have been the best option, unnecessary seizure was not the norm. In hindsight, maybe some of the things that were done initially were not the best choice, Dr. Henry said. There are individuals, when you go to their property, you don't even have the option to open things and throw away the portion that is bad. They are very feisty, they don't even want to cooperate with us sometimes, and it is quite difficult to work with them. Added Dr. Henry, based on our assessment, when we go to the facilities, we actually look at where the water level is. We understand that there are some business owners that move the items up, and some people actually try to wash these items off. So sometimes, based on what we observe when we go into the establishment, we know that these items were actually submerged and they were removed because we can see where the water level rose to. Sometimes the persons who own these businesses are not looking for those things, but we do. We are not going to discard a person's items if they are only splashed with flood water. We discard them when we know that they have been contaminated. The chief medical officer also indicated that due to the behavior of some of these business operators, we would not be surprised if a number of items that should have been dumped ended up back on shelves. Some people try to wash down and wash off things, and we have to be very, very careful because even if those items are sealed, remember that this flood water contains all manner of things. In the next couple of months, if there are some people who have hidden things from us, there are going to be individuals that are buying soda, and when they open the cap, there is mud underneath. Even though it looks sealed, they have been contaminated, Dr. Henry said. Query, in the meantime, said he is not trying to undermine the role health personnel play following disasters such as the recent flood. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.